Good morning and welcome to Trapper Rod's Outdoor Pursuits. We're out on the Beaver trap line today, and I wanted to show you guys a Beaver Run set, or they call a Beaver Channel set. These beavers have started making over the past 3 to 4 weeks, have been starting to make this beaver mound. We're down on a duck club in west central Missouri, and I'm standing on good hard clay right now. But the way you find the run is it comes out of the banked in, or it comes out of a beaver lodge, and it'll dip way down. It has a big U-shaped bottom on it. Now this beaver run isn't very old, so it's fairly narrow, and so we're going to block it with these 330 conibears on these tall stabilizers. But watch as I take my stick and I work along this bottom. Go along, then boom. It just drops off, and that's where you want it to set your trap. It'll come along here and then go right back up. So you've got this very little U-shaped bottom that looks like about a half a tube, like a slide at a water park. You'll take your beaver trap. You'll make sure that your safeties are off. Always make sure those safeties are on until you're ready to set your trap. And I located a nice little spot here where the bank comes up and it's nice and narrow. We're going to take our trap, push it all the way down to the mud, and then Caleb's going to set another trap right behind it. I always try to set 2 traps in a beaver run. That way, if you get one beaver in one trap, then you've got another chance to catch the next beaver, or if the beaver misses your first trap, you got another chance to catch him on the second trap. This beaver run goes all the way out here to right about theirs when it opens up into the little slough. So we've got plenty of room to set 2 beaver traps. So we're going to have Caleb set another one, and that's going to be your basic beaver run set. Now make sure your safeties are off. Make sure it's nice and square with the run. Just down to the bottom, that's good. And there, you've got 1, 2. You got one and another one about 4 or 5 feet apart. That ought to have beavers in it in the morning. We're out here on the Duck Club trap line, and I'm not sure if you can see it in that water, but there's a little chocolatey milky streak. That is where these beavers are coming, and they're coming up, and they're doing that cutting over there. So we're going to take a couple of long stabilizers and a couple of 330s, and we're going to make a beaver channel set. Sometimes people call them a beaver run set or a runway set, but it's all the same thing. A beaver channel set, a runway set, and a run set are the same thing. We're going to set one right by these little bushes, and we're going to set one right by those little bushes. And we'll look at them here once we're done. You can see we've got our first trap set in this beaver run. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this large floating log right here. We're going to float it over and go across this set and tangle it up in this little bush. Not only is this going to camouflage our set, but it is also going to make the beaver, as he runs up down through there, it's going to make this beaver dive and go right through the middle of our trap. We're going to get a couple of logs and stabilize, a couple of sticks and stabilize this log where we want it. And then this set right here is made, and we'll go right up there and make the next one. About the same tactic. We're going to put a log over the top so they got a duck. All right, I found out that this log that I thought was only about a few feet long is about 15-20 feet long, and the beavers have been coming up right by this bush. You can see that little bit of muddy water, and right in the center there of this log, they've been going right under it naturally. So instead of trying to take the mountain to Muhammad, I took Muhammad to the mountain, set the trap right in their run underneath that log that they've already naturally been going to make these cuttings, and boom, we've got a natural set as you can be. Ought to be a beaver here in the morning. We got that beaver set up under this natural log that goes across there, and the beavers have been coming up. They've got a nice hard bottom channel right there by those bushes. And you've got this run, and it goes right by these bushes, and you've got a pretty hard bottom. It's not quite as defined as the one up there. And we've moved a log into their runway so they'll dive under it and go into their channel and get caught in that 330 there. Their lodge is up around this corner to the left, and it's a brand new lodge, and you can see there's beaver cuttings all across here. So this ought to have beavers in it tonight. So that should give you a pretty good idea of how to set a channel set or a beaver run set. Just look for that U-shaped bottom. Whatever stakes you're using, whatever stabilizer you're using, just stabilize it right in the bottom of that. Do a little bit of blocking on the side, and you should have beavers the next day. So thank you for coming by Trapper Rod's Outdoor Pursuits, and God bless.